talk about the jersey, about the wool that I bought, and on the bubonic plague blocks that I completed for the month of May. I'm still going to do the art piece and the tapestry piece for the project I'm gonna be working on for June. So there are a couple of things that I'm gonna be doing in June, and what else? I also wanna update you guys on our lives this month. I'm going live this week, and yeah, then I'll see you in the following. Okay, I think that's the most important thing, because the whole point, I think, generally, the whole idea is for me to go live for an entire month, Monday to Friday. But I think I am going to progress towards that point. It's not it's not coming very easily because of the the financial constraints within how much I can afford to do whatever it is that I want to do. So given how much I can afford, I'm very happy to do the things that I am doing right now. So let me first start out by showing you guys the jersey I worked on. I was thinking of using the jersey to go to the place that I applied for. I did tell you I'm not going to tell you until I am accepted and I'm going. And also, I was also planning on the move video. So it just so happens to then be an event that I'll wait, and if really doesn't happen, I'm trying to talk about it anyway. Just to brief you guys a little bit on it, it has to do with farming. Queen of Famine for America has a lot to do with farming. Last year, I went around scouting for land, and because I'm interested in farming. Excuse me, the reason why I'm interested in farming is my move to country living. So, in my beliefs, I have a belief to move to country living. So, within that idea, I wanted to just be happy maybe going into the farm space. Anyway, so that is just a thought. I am moving in that direction. Hopefully, in this future, which is this 5 years I'm giving myself, at least to 2030, may something come up. But I'll keep you guys updated on whatever it is that happens. Let me show you now my jersey that I worked on. And this is a jersey I was going to wear to go to move even, and to go to where I applied for. I'm not gonna tell you. Um, I'll show you now anyway. I am revealing the jersey. I started this jersey last year, and I posted it on Queen of Famine for America. It started out as 3 jerseys. The other 2 jerseys I've completed, and now was left this jersey. So I improvised on the pattern and made another pattern that is different to the other 2 jerseys. So let me just go over it, maybe explain a little bit the differences. So here at the top, I increased my collar, and yeah, and then it is short sleeve. The other 2 jerseys are long sleeve. So it's short sleeve with ruffles. It has this design here with the pockets at the front. I don't know if you can see it properly. And then this is at the back. If you can see, the waist is navy, and the pockets are also navy. The pockets are supposed to be cuffs, but they're not. They just ended up being pockets, and I thought this was not gonna work, but it actually does work. I bought this wool and I thought it was the same color as this pink, only to find that this one is darker than this one. So I ended up improvising and it worked. Have a new pattern. The color went to the top, and then it went here also, and then I was left with the calves that were gonna go on the sleeves. So these calves ended up becoming pockets, and you can see the design. Showing you again, and then I'm gonna put it away. So I was gonna wear it. As soon as I completed this jersey, I was so interested in making pants for it. So gonna make those pants. I'm still gonna make those pants and they're gonna go very well with the jersey. I went to town today to go and restock on wool, and I was just thinking, you know what, this month I'm gonna buy 8 bundles of wool. Next month, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna buy 14 bundles of wool. I just keep buying 14 or 8. Um, but I'm gonna get a lot of bundles of wool until I complete all of my projects. I have quite a number of projects I'm gonna be doing. There are swatches I want to do. I want to do Christmas gifts. I want to do personal projects, and I also have the campaign that I'm still working on. And there's poison ivy that I also am gonna start up this month also. I'm just gonna show you the bundles of wool that I got. I saw at the shop I was buying from, there was a variety of wool and I just took all sorts of wool. I really was not picky according to what I could afford. I just took whichever wool I saw in fact. I'm going for with the bubonic plague campaign. Um, if you guys don't know anything about it, you can see the campaign on the in the other lives. So the bubonic plague campaign is a campaign that is to raise awareness on the bubonic plague and to promote good health. So I am making a blanket for this campaign to respond to the campaign. So as I am campaigning, this blanket is supposed to serve as a response to the campaign. And I'm going for colors that are dull and yucky and that are a little bit more sickly and more dark, I guess. I bought again some colors. In fact, all of the colors that I bought last time. So if you can remember, last month I had these 3 colors. I bought the black again, and I was so I don't know how I feel about black. Black gets finished very quickly. Um, and I don't know if this bundle is actually 100 gram, but it is 100 gram from there. It just feels like it might not be, and I don't know. When I put them together, it's like longer, and then it's like maybe like heavy also with these ones. I don't know. Maybe it is 100 gram. I don't know how I did that blanket block last month. It could have been wider than it should have been. Maybe that's where the wool got finished. It really got finished really quickly. I'm going to show you just now the product of what happened last month. I guess I am, maybe I'm content with the outcome. I'm just not happy with the wool getting finished very quickly. And so these are the three colors that I bought. It is the black, the beige, and the blue. And then I just added more colors just because I thought, oh, other colors is also gonna maybe be good for the upcoming other blocks. So this is very light, but I know when you talk about death and everything, pink can just do a lot of things. Let's just add in the hypocrisy here of how it is death, but it's almost like pink. I don't know. It's almost like that badge that people use for HIV and AIDS, but I'm adding pink here too. So it's a pink and it is the red. And then I put in the yellow for the yuckiness of bile. It's like someone's puking or something. So like a vomit. And then there's the purple. Purple really doesn't add into sickness. But I guess in this sense, I'm gonna put it in just so to add in something that contradicts whatever it is that I'm doing, but also at the same time kind of adds in color and makes the project very pretty. I also have the green, which I'm gonna add with the yellow. I think it complements. They complement each other. So yellow complements the purple and the blue, I think, and the green. And yeah, the other colors also complement each other. So the red and the pink complement each other. The black complements all of the colors. So those are the colors that I bought, and these were about 8 bundles. I was so happy to restock today. I finished out everything and literally forgot all of the other things I was going to be getting. How crazy is that? That's really crazy. When I woke up from sleep, I was not in a good mood. When I got to town, I was grumpy. Everything was so annoying. It's like, oh my goodness. Why are you saying this to me? Why are you saying this to me? I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. That's literally how I felt. So that's the bundles of wool that I've gotten, and I'm gonna do a lot of amazing stuff with it. So now I'm gonna show you guys the where I am with the Bubonic plate project. The blanket is about 2 squares. It's 2 blocks for now. By the end of June, it's gonna be 4 blocks. I assemble as I go. The whole idea of assembly only December is something like when I got so excited and I completed the 2 blocks and I just thought, let me assemble as I go and then it's just gonna come together. This is the project. I don't know how to show you. And it is um I don't know how to show you properly. Let's start out with the first half. So if you can remember, this is where we started the project. We started with this block. So this block is um, the face of the mouse, and both of these blocks are based off of this art piece, if you can remember from the other lives. I'm just going to show you just in case you cannot remember really well. So we had this art piece. If you can remember when I was crocheting, I had this art piece. And this art piece is an art piece that I used to crochet these 2 blocks. This is how it's gone. This is the other first half. This is the first half, and this is the second half. if you can see at the top that I didn't finish the black. And then this is together, and then I can open them up. And can you see? I think you can see it. It is so big. I'm literally thinking of like hanging it on the curtain once I'm done, so that it just can be can show on my video very well. So this is it, guys. I'm just thinking of how it's gonna go. It's actually gonna be about 16 squares. It's gonna go on for this entire year. The campaign itself is is for this year. And at the end of the year, I'm gonna put together and assemble the blanket, and the blanket's gonna be full. So excited. So this is the first half, and this is the second half of the blanket blocks for May. These are them together. So tell me what you think in the comment section below on the progress of this blanket so far. I'm very happy, honestly, with how it turned out, and just could improve on my tapestry a little bit for a beginner in tapestry. I think, yeah, it is. It looks very good. Packing it away, and I found a big box. This box, I think, this is a box that my ring light came in. So I found this box again from like my storage, my home storage. And I must tell you guys, I live in my family's house. It is very important for me to start moving to my own like place. But yeah, that is something for the future. I want to have my own place and make this a very professional business. But God knows, it's all in God's hands that these things are coming together. So now I'm going to talk a little bit on a sleep of death. I'm going to start out and talk about what happened in Denmark today. Today is the 25th of May, and the 25th of May is a public holiday in Denmark. They had a royal fun run, which I'm excited. I want to go to in the coming years. Um, I've never gone to any royal fun run before. I was invited to go to the royal fun run in Dubai and didn't go yet. One day I will go there also into that fun run. I want to go to these fun runs, these royal fun runs. Um, A sleep of death is the prophetic understanding of King Frederick being between me and Adventism, and King Charles being between me and the world. And in my understanding, God has put them there so that by their influence, I am not killed by Adventism, as I have left the church to do the work God's called me to do as Queen of Alma and for America. And I am not killed by the world, as I am not in the world to just be a part of the world in that sense, other than me being in the world, set apart to do the work that I'm doing as Queen of Our Mind for America. And so within those boundaries, I interact with the people in the world. I do a lot of stuff with people in the world, but there's that protection from King Charles that is a measure. It is a measure. They have certain things they're against me on, and I think um, it is their fights within the prophetic narrative or whatever it is protects me from being killed by these two groups of people who have the potential to kill me as an individual person. So I had to talk about a few things. The first thing that I started talking about is the verse itself as to where um, I can find that God speaks to me. I take it as my own experience, the experience of David. In Psalms 13, verse 3, he says, "Consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Lighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death." So David here is just sharing this prayer to God. He is saying to God that he would like God to lighten his eyes, lest he sleeps the sleep of death. And so, a sleep of death is my recognition of just seeing that um, I could be killed anytime. I could be killed by Adventism. I could be killed by the world just by the prophetic understanding of Scripture. Adventism can never believe my studies on Lucifer come to bless. They never believe it. To them, that's wickedness. That is evil and it's not biblical, they will say. And yet it is. To me, I find prophetic and I find it prophetically correct. And I find it to be exactly where I can take as a prophetic understanding for this time. And so to me, it is truth. To them, it's not truth, especially not truth they could preach in their pulpits. So not only that, but with Adventism comes then my study on barren demonology. Barren demonology is a study that is based on Mika. Mika is a lady who's married to David because she's the daughter of Saul. When David came into Jerusalem, I think it was Jerusalem, and he just been victorious in a number of wars. He comes in dancing, and Mika is looking at him with distaste. You are a king of all things. Why do you come in dancing? Don't do that. And God is displeased that she will do this because that is something that He's blessed him to do. God blessed David to go into Jerusalem dancing. So God made her barren. And so the study itself is based off of that. God made Mika barren. And the study now starts off and it is talking about barren demonology. Barron is President Trump and First Lady Melania's son. He's the only son. So Barron is a political figure. When you take something that's going to happen to someone's body, literally, and put it at a nation where a nation is affected by it in one way or another, the impact is not so great. It would have been very great. Imagine if I lose my babies and I'm just a young lady. I'm anticipating I want to have babies and then I just lose my babies. If or event where the world is participating in it, or people or nations or world leaders participating in it, the impact is not so great, and yet the significance in it still remains. And so parent terminology is run out of, and now it is happening politically in the world, in a nation, in the world, with certain political leaders playing a certain role in ensuring and making sure that these things come to pass, or that God is collaborating with them, with with just playing in these events, being players in these events, that God Himself um, just make sure that they come to pass. So that's what barren terminology has to do with. Adventism will never understand that, firstly, because their beliefs is that politics is not something that should be merged with the Bible. And so if something goes to them, it goes to them in their bodies. That's the first difference. That's why it's not something that they. Secondly, it has tree and terminology is a study that's coming from King James, who is the ancestor of King Charles in England. And so that it's coming from someone who was once the head of the Church of England. The churches themselves do not have the same beliefs. And so that is another reason why, from the belief point of view, the church itself does not accept that study also. There are many studies I can mention and talk about that the church does not accept. With that lack of acceptance, that rejection, I get killed. So when people are hitting on the errors of my messages, even if they're not errors, when they're hitting on the errors of my messages, I feel something hits me with the influence, whether it is my reputation or me physically, but something does happen to me. To, to rebuttal, to protect me, there's King Frederick, who, when we have our differences, and we deal with our differences, Adventism's impact is not so great on me as an individual. That's what a sleep of death is all about. So now I find myself in the valley of decision. I am living or I'm dead because of that. Um, so I spoke about a river Jordan, and I spoke about the rain. Adventism has rain. They're the children of God with rain, and anyone else who's given rain for this time, and that is a prophetic narrative. It's not a prophetic narrative, it is a message. I think it is messages, but for them, they will say it is gospel. It is a specific gospel that God gives to people um, in this time for whatever it is God's called them to do. So that's going to be different to my messages. And my messages, they hit on the River Jordan, and that becomes our crossing place from not only just the destruction of Jerusalem, but also it's a crossing place for us to enter into Babylon. And while Belshazzar, King Charles, is going crazy with getting drunk and drunk, we enter into um, Shushan, and the current keeps flowing as the river Euphrates keeps moving onwards. But I did say that the whole reason why I am so diligent and I am so consistent in writing up my studies is because I want to use these studies as rocks to put in that river Euphrates, so that and now if you can remember my other study on the river Euphrates is that MBS, who is Prince MBS of Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia, and I don't know if it is Iraq, Turkey, and Qatar, if it is Qatar or Qatar. So those four powers, the powers of holding up the Middle East one way or another. Well, you cannot just go to Saudi Arabia. You want to look at Dubai. You want to look at all these other places. That becomes the river Euphrates, and the river Euphrates. Then once I throw those rocks in, then those rocks fill up and they stop at the point where the waters don't pass through where we are going to be walking in, as we want Shushan. So we want to enter into Shushan. That's what we want. And I enter into Shushan with Prince Fazer, as Prince Fazer is Sheila in this sense. And so us entering into Shushan means all of these studies then make this collaboration with the King of Jordan and the Queen of Jordan with Prince Fazer irrelevant for this crossing. So we cross over and it's almost out. We're done with these rocks now. We can enter in, and King Charles kind of gets wiped away and moves along with the current of the river Euphrates, and we settle as the Medes and Persians in Shushan. So that's what this is all about, and I guess crossing is a lot here, and I'm gonna be talking a little bit more about that. So I've spoken about 666 a little bit. Um, these are things that I'm going to speak about progressively. I think I'm gonna stop there with a sleep of death, and probably tomorrow in tomorrow's live, I'm gonna enter into 666 and remind us. I'm just gonna remind us on a few studies we've dealt with so far, without actually doing the studies themselves, because that is something that I'm going to do in Queen of My Mind for America. I'm going to have a board, depending on whether it's a chalkboard or it's a whiteboard marker board. If I have a board and a chalks or whiteboard markers, then I will draw my lines and I'll explain. In fact, I will just share, because it's not really me explaining more than it is about me sharing what I've worked on so far. My envelope has is scrunched up, folded a little bit. So my lives usually go on for an hour, and 30 minutes has gone by. I am going to now do the artwork. I haven't done the artwork, so I'm going to do the artwork right now. There's a lot of drawing I need to do, and I'm going to be coloring in also. It's like taking me back to preschool, primary school. Hello everyone who's just come in, welcome to my live. And I officially say goodbye to nasal peace. The whole idea of this blanket is to eventually have a museum of my own, and have these blankets that I am making these campaigns as historical reference. So I'm just gonna keep this in the file for now. I'll be keeping them in the files for quite some time. Once everything's done and I set up my museum in the future. I'm probably gonna have it on glass rather than just, and it's probably gonna have a little bit more formal setup than it does now. It might also, I don't know if it's gonna sit in any library of my own in my house, but I do plan on having these very long term. At some point, I thought I was gonna sell it on a first come first serve basis. So is debate reference and say 2026 I started this campaign and this is my response to it. I also do want to talk a little bit more about um, my messages and my what I take in as influence. So as I spoke about King Charles has a few things going on in England, which I find very interesting. But I think one place I love the most is Netflix. So I know people are on Netflix for certain things. I've heard Bridgerton, a lot on Bridgerton, but that hasn't been my main focus. I've looked into the movie called The Wicked, and that has been really, really lovely for me. I've been really happy just seeing it, and I thought it was great influence to use with my messages. Excuse me. So I'm also watching Scandinavian movies. I'm also learning how to speak German and Danish in on Duolingo. So I'm just like just sharing this because this is the type of influence that I am adding with my messages, the the horror movies such as Annabelle Collection, Annabelle Diaries, and The Nun. Those type of things that work very well with my messages. And I do want to, in fact, watch these movies as I do believe that is someone else's belief or someone else's creativity and respond to it. Have a project, personal project, or this influence or inspiration, find inspiration for a few things that I'm doing in my business for Hamona, where we are cleansed, we are purified. So so those are the things that I am working on, and I'm very, very excited and happy with how I'm going to bring this together. There's a lot that's gonna happen, and I'm just looking forward to all of it. I'm just gonna be drawing now and coloring in. I don't know how you guys feel about the Bubonic plate blanket. I love it so far. I've had this lip eyes forever. Since our high school, that's like 10 years ago. I've had it for about, I feel little bit of paint. When I started up my tapestry, I didn't know what 50 by 50 is gonna look like. But then, did you see those blocks, guys? Did you see those blocks? They're so big. They're so big. They're like this big, you know. And that's 50 by 50. It's crazy. I actually have these tapestry, I think, blocks. Actually, I calculated and drew a block that is 50 by 50, you know. I'm looking for them. Maybe I'm gonna find them. So that's something I'll have to do now. Here they are. I didn't prepare all of my pages. I think the ones I prepared is enough to finish the year. So that's June, July, August, September, October, November. I still gonna do December. Let me do December now so that I have that's enough to finish the year. And then yeah, that makes me happy. That makes me very happy. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. There's 14 minutes left to the end of the live. Just drawing out this square. Yesterday I was feeling so bad. I was feeling so lazy. That I'm a lazy person. That's how I was feeling. I was feeling like I'm a lazy person. Like I'm not doing anything. Like I'm not doing enough. Like and all of that. So I understand right now. I only get money through my grants. I only get grant from the government, and that's for unemployment grant. You know. So maybe the influence coming from me feeling like maybe I'm a bum because I'm living at home and I'm getting a grant from the government. unemployment, and I'm growing business which is not earning yet. Um, so yeah, it's just not easy, guys. Let me tell you. I don't know if anyone else does this, but it isn't. Anyway, irrespective of that, I'm gonna draw out the tapestry part and the art piece. It's like 10 minutes left. I wanna tell you guys that over the weekend I was just thinking on the bubonic plague, and I was just thinking, what do I draw as a mosquitoes or mice, or just like mangled body parts, or like body parts that like I don't know, like sores coming out. It's like, oh no, it's just so exciting just thinking about it. Wow, okay. Um, yeah, I'm still thinking for a foot that has sores oozing out. I even have yellow and green. Yeah, but it fit. Let's do. I don't know how the foot is gonna turn out, but let me try it. I don't think I can draw feet. I've never taken time to actually draw a foot. Even from the side, there is a bridge, yeah, like a groove. Is the pinky. There's 9 minutes left, and I'm still trying to draw a foot. I'm gonna download pictures of feet and just work on my foot here. I am also thinking of concerts. I did tell you on TikTok, um, they removed me from lives. They say I look younger than a person who can go live. So that was something that really, really disappointed me. But I guess since I'm growing my hours here on YouTube, everything's gonna be okay. I want to think so, guys. I want to think that everything's gonna be okay. There we go. There's my foot. me show you my foot so far. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that is my foot. So now the foot gets sores.